Hello and welcome to They.Were.Heroes, a D&D 5e game. I'm Nightxgamer, and today we have Tommy. And why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are playing with today, Tommy?
In the We Were Heroes campaign, I will be playing uh, Echo, the Apothecary.
So, being Echo the Apothecary, why don't you tell us a little bit about him and his role in They.Were.Heroes?
Well, yeah. So as a child, he was abandoned to Temple of the One and Fort Go, and only thing on him was a name tag saying his name Echo, as well as a cross necklace, which is one of the not holy symbol for 5e, but a holy symbol for the One, as well as these two gold earrings. And he was raised in the church. Um, this world isn't very big on magic, but he excelled in it. Mostly in the divine arts that the church taught him. And yeah.
So that would make him a priest. Has he excelled high in his priesthood?
Well, he has he's done most of the ceremonies, the weddings, the burials, coming of age ceremonies. So he's had a lot of training for priesthood. Creating holy water, stuff like that. His goal is to become priest of this fort, but there is a rival who is also trying to do the same goal.
A rival? That sounds juicy. We have a name for this rival.
Yes, Wrath, Rath. Um, as Echo excels in divine magics and defensive capabilities with his heavy armor and whatnot, Wrath excels in the westernized hand cannon, guns, things of that nature.
So what led you guys to have a falling out of sorts? Why is he your rival?
So Echo wants to branch out the word of the God. I mean, the One. But he's not going to force anybody. He's had some experiences that opened his eyes to, like, I enjoy my religion. I think it is the right one, but I'm not going to force anybody. Wrath is like the old-time Christianity. He will convert you or kill you, and Echo is not a fan of this philosophy.
So you mentioned he had some you as Echo had eye-opening experiences in his path to the One. Name some of these experiences.
I think in his divine magic training, when he was casting some of the low-level spells that they were learning, something mysterious happened in him. His eyes glow gold whenever he does anything divine. So a bunch of the people think that he may truly be like the second coming of the One. That led him to get pretty cocky. And then one day, after training, they went to go to sleep, and the church was attacked by demons. A lot of people died, a lot of the brothers, higher level priest people, and they grabbed Father George, which Echo kind of saw as a father figure, and left and Echo and Wrath teamed up to kill one of the demons. But that opened Echo's eyes to there really are people out here stronger than I am.
So you have encountered the supernatural. In a world where most people attribute demons and devils to folklore and just children's stories, how did that interaction affect you as as Echo?
Well, in Echo's world, he hasn't really left the church, so all of his learnings from the books and whatnot, he sees the demons and whatnot as normal because he hasn't actually left Fort Go. So to him, the demons are a regular thing, but he never knew how strong they were. To him also, he knows magic isn't very well known across the world, but to him, all he's seen is magic. Like almost everyone there can do some level of divine magic.
So in other words, he familiarizes himself with magic.
Yes. But he is also attributed to, as I said, his nickname, the Apothecary. He is also well trained in the mundane healing arts. Getting some juicy stuff over there?
Oh yeah, typing. So, you mentioned that Father George was taken.
Yes.
And Father George was your father figure.
Yes, he was the closest in all the forts to becoming the Pope equivalent in this world. And for him to be taken so easily caused a big shock.
So he may be your father figure. So what happened to Echo's actual parents?
Unknown. He was discarded as a child, left to the church.
Has he ever attempted to find his real parents?
No. He's asked about it a couple times. George said, told him about being left and about the necklace and earrings. He's kept them close as his only reminder that he has family, and to him, the church is his family.
So you mentioned that you had a rival. Did you have a friend?
Not someone super specific. Wrath was the only one anywhere close to Echo's level. Everyone else was either too awed by his glowing eyes to approach him or talk to him, or scared. So they were either no one really talked to him besides Wrath.
And he's never left the fort, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So what's his reasoning for wanting to adventure?
Well, Wrath is a year older than him, and in the priesthood, there is a law. Once you come of age, 18, you must leave for 3 years to adventure. Test out the world, gain knowledge, advance yourself, and then you may come back. That is the only thing stopping everyone right now from saying that Echo should be George's replacement.
So people have very high esteem of Echo.
Yeah, mostly because of his level of the divine arts and his glowing eyes, as the One has in lore.
Now, people may think this, but what does Echo think about replacing his former father, being in a position that was never meant to really be his? How does he feel about people basically putting him on a pedestal he never was meant to be on?
Well, as I said, from that eye-opening experience, he doesn't think he's anywhere near that level. He's hoping in his travels that he will find some clues as to what happened to George. He's hoping that George is still alive. Um, During his training, George did tell Echo that he hopes that he will. He told Echo and Wrath that he hopes that one of them will take over the church.
So, has he accepted this fate on becoming the next high priestess of this particular chain, or is he hoping to find George more than his own ambition?
Well, George is old, so he wants both. He wants to find George, but he knows that George is old and that someone will have to take over. He's hoping that through his travels and his 3-year time versus Wrath's 2-year time left, that he will grow both physically, mentally, and spiritually to a level not specifically higher than Wrath, but what is expected of him, and he feels he can do the right thing.
Alright, so, much like everybody else in They.Were.Heroes, now we get to ask, how many people have you slain?
People 0, demons 2.
So you've killed 2 demons,
Yes.
but avoided taking human life.
Correct.
What about Beastkin?
Have no interaction with them.
So you have no opinion or just no interaction?
No interaction. I think some of them are interesting. I hold them to the same level as humans. I judge each person off of their actions and words.
Were there any other Beastkins in the order, or was this strictly just humans?
There's no strict thing against them. In this particular fort, there were none. In other forts, there are. So it's not like they're just not allowed. It's just there happens to be none in this place.
Alright. So, we know about his rivalry with Wrath.
Mm-hmm.
We know that he's faced demons before. How about a bandit? Has he ever been held up? Have you ever been threatened by another human?
Sort of. So not like we said, he hasn't left the fort, so he hasn't been held up by a bandit or anything, but he has been endangered from the fights with the demons, and he has been punished. punished for wrongdoings like not doing as well on the tests, stuff like that. And he is known for if he was to watch a student and the student does something wrong, he will take the blame for it. And even during that time, they would be like, tell us, what happened, and he would not give information.
So even if they're blatantly in the wrong, he would be self-sacrificing enough for them.
Yes, as long as there's some kind of connection to, oh, I could have done better, he will take that approach.
Do people take this in a positive light, or do they more so often like think you're arrogant because of doing stuff like this?
It's a mix. There's people that see him as a hero for doing this, and then there's some that say, it's not all up to you. But then he gets mixed feelings about this because people are telling him it's not all up to you, but then they're trying to hold him up to a big pedestal, like taking over Brother George's position. So he has to grow up a lot faster than intended while still making the correct choices that people won't complain. It's pretty hard.
What was probably the biggest failure in Echo's life?
Not protecting Brother George.
So that's something that he feels grievously responsible for.
Both him and Wrath feel this way. Because they were both there, as I said.
And since Wrath left a year before you did, have you been able to keep in contact, or has he gone completely off the grid from you?
We have a thing. We send messages once a month to keep update. I haven't seen any of them recently. The teachers have been keeping it from me. They say I should focus on my schoolwork, and that they would send a reply to Wrath. So, to my knowledge, he is still exploring. Last seen several months ago. Let me look at the map real quick. Last seen several months ago around Fort Massive. In the Salt Forest. And that was 7 months since his leaving. And it's been 5 months since then. Haven't heard back from him since. Teachers have told me he's doing fine and that I should focus on my studies.
And these have been mundane missives, nothing magically, correct?
Correct.
Alright. So it's been 5 months since your last missive from Wrath.
To my knowledge, they continue to come in, but I haven't read any in 5 months.
Okay. So he's been in the priesthood all his life.
Mm-hmm.
After the fort was attacked by the demons, I'm assuming that wasn't the end of the fort, that it grew back.
Correct. We had brothers from different forts come to secure the place, drop salts, holy water, make sure we were religiously protected, divine seals and protections, things like that.
Now, since the religion in They.Were.Heroes is really big on keeping propaganda as minimal as possible, how would he have taken the idea of something like your mentor, George, being snatched by demons on the low from the massive populace outside of, like, temple life?
He understands the need for this. He is not going to go to a town saying, "Hey, have you seen demons lately?" Um, he's naive, not stupid. Um, he will ask about, well, where's the temple, whatnot. But talk of this is allowed to happen in other churches. So as long as I talk to another brother, I can bring it up.
So, has when we actually interact with him, this would be him already on his journey, correct?
Yes.
Has there been any places in particular that stood out that he's traveled from outside of Go?
To his knowledge, each of the forts that he has passed so far have been pretty close to his. You know, there is the order, the one, the priest and whatnot. He's asked about the troubles. Have they seen demons? None of the other ones have had any demon contact or anyone stolen away. He's had some issues with, as you said, bandits. Got cut up a few times trying to be gentle with them, try to not kill them. But he understands that there is need sometimes.
So you have had a minor stiff with some bandits before.
Yes.
How did that end or
Once he
start?
has left. What was that?
I was like, how did that end and start?
Oh, he has his backpack. He's walking through. He has nice looking armor because he polishes it. Bandit jumps him at gunpoint. Tells him to give him all of his stuff. Echo says, "You're making a mistake. You should stand down and atone for your sins." The guy scoffs, shoots him. Echo takes damage. Echo calls down a holy spell to affect his opponent. Does severe damage to the bandit, and the bandit flees.
So how did Echo take this, probably the first time of really human on human conflict outside of punishment? How did he take getting shot?
It is the first time he's been shot. It hurt. It kind of blew his world for a second there. He is now starting to understand, okay, these are now things in the world. And then as he goes to other towns, he asks more about it, what he should look out for, if there's any kind of like better armor or shields to combat these weapons. And so far, he's been told, well, you can just get better, but there isn't anything specific in this day and age to counteract guns.
And just so everybody should know, is Echo proficient with guns?
No.
So Echo, unfortunately, has no clue how to use guns in this day and age, which leaves you at Echo at a disadvantage, but he has his advantage in the divine arts that he can carry with him.
Mm-hmm.
Has, in this small bit of traveling before we actually make Echo a part of a group or whatnot, has he made any allies out here in the dry sand?
He tries to make contact with each fort, each town, find what is it, the church in the cities, as I said, he has a high rank within the church. He has a not so much a badge, but a piece of paper that shows what he is trained in, what he is capable of doing, which is very extensive as far as priesthood is concerned. And let's see the map real quick. And Fort again, pretty close to his fort. He has done a marriage ceremony there.
Was that
But
your
as
first?
far as no, that is my first outside of my fort. But I am practiced in all of the ceremonies. But in each of the fort or towns that I pass, I try to make friends with each church.
So, has anything been any more than cordial? Like, is he on a first name basis with anybody ever since he left Fort Go? Or has he been pretty secluded on the idea that he's an outsider in this world of bandits, gun users, toters, cowboys, and...
Yeah, right now he's still all gung-ho about finding George, finding out more about guns. In the time leading up to meeting the party, he starts to calm down, and he still hasn't made any true friends yet, but he is open to the idea now.
If there's something that he would regret after leaving Fort Go, what would it be?
Uh, Not bringing the books with him from the library. So, as Echo, as I said, is trying to improve himself and whatnot, one of the main ways for him to improve himself is to progress in the divine arts. Divine arts being mostly for healing, curing diseases, blessing people, things of that nature. He only knows a few things, and he definitely wants to expand his knowledge, be it the divine arts or the mundane, as far as healer's kits, herbalism kit, stuff like that for the mundane.
Alright, so how about in the persuasion of... has he had any interaction with people in a more friendly manner? AKA, is he a virgin?
Yes. He is very much so. He is not in the persuasion as Christianity as you would think, wait till marriage or anything like that. He just hasn't... there aren't very many girls in the fort that he is from, and he hasn't really woken up to the idea that, oh, girls exist yet. His entire life has revolved around training and becoming better.
So no little echoes running around out there.
Nope. It's okay, there's probably enough Oscars to make up for it.
Maybe. He might be one of them. So, now that we have all this very fun information, yeah, what was his first encounter with the Beastkin? Since you're in a majority human settlement.
He met up with one, the groom in the marriage ceremony that he did in Fort again was a Beastkin. He was a little shocked because he hasn't seen them in person, but as I said, from talking with him and whatnot, he judges each person individually by what they say and do, and he has a high opinion of them now.
Alright, so he has more of a idea of how he thinks of this very different species compared to the humans he's been around. Oh, what about orcs? Has he ever come across an orc in his travels?
No, he has heard of them.
And how does he feel about what he's heard?
He feels that even though, as I just said, he treats each person based off of what they say and do. Based off of what they say and do, they are pretty bad people.
So that's something that you've been avoiding. Alright.
Does not feel he's at the level where he can deal with those.
What's some of the hobbies that he's into?
He enjoys playing dice. He has a dice set. He really wants to learn other languages. And as I said, he is very into learning more of the divine arts, as well as learning more kits, as what I was just talking about, the healer's kits, things like that. He enjoys picking herbs. Herbalism is a fun hobby of his.
So he actually has quite a bit of recreational, backgrounds that he gets himself into.
Yeah.
Alright, so, with all that down, now we get to the fun part of our episode.
Uh-oh.
The legends.
Oh, that's right, that is a thing.
So, like we've done with everybody else, we need to come up with 4 legends that people outside of who you would normally interact would come up with in commonplace conversation about this apothecary named Echo.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing. I think the most important one that I came up with is the whole the eyes glowing as if it was the second coming of the One. They glow gold, just as the One did, but the legends are that they glow a whole bunch of different colors. If you ask a different person, he'll say a different color. The second one would be kind of mixed in with what I just said, that he is the second coming of the One, or if you're thinking Christianity, they'll say, it's the second coming of Jesus or whatever. This world's equivalent. He doesn't believe he is, so that would be kind of like a mythos. I said he was good with the divine arts, healing specifically. Some people have blown this way out of proportion, saying that he can reattach limbs, raise the dead, things of that nature. I need one more? Let's see. Probably his the level of punishment that he received in the church. Like I said, when he defended people, or they just always held him to a higher standard. So whenever he messed up, he would get whipped, lashed, whatever. And this built up his constitution. but the level of beatings that people uh, talk about is way higher than he ever took. They say things like they whipped him till his back almost flayed like paper and almost came off. Um, Took off his arm, reattached it, things like that.
Alright, so, from these legends, you know, I heard that Echo feller, the Apothecary. Yeah, they say his eyes glow like he's some kind of second coming. Like, you look in his eyes, and it's like a fresh day's rain with all the colors that it seems to go. Shoot, you think that's something? They tell me that that boy over there, he's the second coming of the one. The one? I sure plumb reckon. You guys must be off
Sure
your
plum.
keisters. See, I heard that he has some kind of demonic powers, yeah? That he can raise the dead and even reattach limbs. Are you kidding me? What? You guys just that dull? It's nothing like that. I heard that he's not even human. That he can get whipped until dusk and dawn. And all he does is just pick up the pieces and reattach it like it's nothing. And that would be the legends that come from Echo, the Apothecary.
Nope. Sounds a little scary.
So, now we find ourselves in the last part of our video, where we go over the questions that I have for each player to make sure that we went over everything in our conversation.
Okay.
So, first, where you're from, which we did go over, which is...
Fort Go.
Yep. And next, what is your family like?
Unknown. Haven't met them.
So, still up in the air on them. Next is, what is your social class and where you came from?
Um, well, the church is pretty high esteem, but he has always is this like how I view myself or how people view me?
More so how people view you.
Probably in pretty high regard, because of all the credentials and things he has as a priest.
Alright, so next would be, what did you do before you became an adventurer? Which we did answer that a bit.
Practice in his priesthood.
Next would be, why did you become an adventurer? Which we kind of covered that too.
Yeah, he needs to build up life experiences, and it is his required pilgrimage from the church.
So next would be how religious you are, which...
I hope we covered that one. Very.
And who are your best friends and worst enemies?
No specific best friends, but he does have his one enemy, Wrath.
And here's one we didn't really touch on too much on. What is your prized possessions?
Oh, when he was left as a child, he had the cross-shaped necklace, which is supposed to be a symbol of the one, as well as 2 gold earrings left by his parents.
Alright, so... next is who are you loyal to?
The church. The church, the people, and the kingdom. Um, if we're talking like on a more personal level, probably Wrath. Even though they don't see eye to eye, they both look towards the well-being of the church. So it's probably more of a friendly rivalry.
So with that in mind, finally, who is it that you love and who is it that you hate?
Uh, Father George and Wrath would be under love. They're the only people who stand out in his growing experience. Hate. Echo lives by a tenet of try to live without hate. Yes.
So, I believe that covers everything we need to know about good old Echo the Apothecary for now. Is there any closing words that you want to say about Echo before we get out of here?
Uh, Echo is the wandering adventurer that excels in the divine arts, focusing on healing. Um, he is very loyal to his friends, tries to live without hate, as we just said, and he is gullible, not stupid, would be a good synopsis of this character.
Gullible and not stupid. That's a very fine way to live. So, thank you for coming out, Tommy, and sharing with us the past life of Echo and where his part is going to be in the campaign of They.Were.Heroes. So, thank you all for coming. That has been today's little session 0 for Echo. Remember, you can follow me at Nightxgamer at YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon. And hit that like button to subscribe, anything relevant to wherever you're watching. Because every little thing you do, every little number, every minute that you use watching our videos, it helps us in the long run to create these products and stories. Because we do these to have fun, but we also have fun hearing from you. So,
Of course.
everything that you do helps in the end. And I believe today is Thursday, so yes, my next live stream day will be on Friday, 10:35 a.m. CST, for Allies of Justice Week 27, as the group gets ambushed by a bunch of cruxes and try to hopefully not die, because this seems like it could be very finite, or a big finale for the group, as they're getting ambushed in the middle of the forest. So, if you're into that
Sounds
game,
fun.
you can catch us then. But we are going to head out of here. Thank you again, Tommy, for coming out.
Yep, have a good one.
Alright, and see you guys next time. Peace.